Hello, darlings. Welcome back to Bougie Beauty TV. I say a lot. It's not a good thing. Basically, what I wanted to talk about, I'm feeling inspired. I'm feeling really good about where I am in my business, personally, in my family life. I'm feeling really good. And so I felt inspired to hop on here because I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and a lot of I've been doing a lot of reading. I have a course that I need to finish up that I'm super in love with, that has been teaching me all about stepping into a certain identity, something that that I see for myself, and I feel like, so I just had this conversation with my husband because he asked me what I was doing today, and I told, like, today's like super lax for me. I did some coaching this morning. I did some free training in one of my groups. After this YouTube video, I'm like answering questions and going through. So I'm like, and then I'm going for lunch with a friend because I have that life and I love it. So I was talking to him about stepping into I need to step into a certain identity, because, and I don't know what that means for me, except that I know that I want to do it. So, for example, so I see, while I was on the phone with him, I was like, this needs to be a YouTube episode. Like, this has to be a YouTube episode. And now that I'm like recording it, I can't remember what I was going to say. But basically what him and I talked about is that I want to step into a multimillionaire mindset, because that is what I see for myself. And I don't want to be a multimillionaire because I just love having money, which I do. I love money. I love earning money. I love spending money. I love seeing money in my bank account. I love when my students make money. Like, I just love money all the way around. Like, money is a great energy, and I appreciate and welcome money into my energetic field. But the reason why I have money is because I want to be limitless. I want to have options. I want to create a lifestyle and opportunities for my family and for my kids. And that doesn't mean going out and blowing money on a $3 million house or buying like a $150,000 car. My lifestyle is a lot simpler than that. What it means for me and my family and my community and the people around me is setting, de-stressing, not having to worry about how I'm going to pay bills, not living paycheck to paycheck, and showing appreciation to the people that have been there in my life. Setting my friends up to be able to not worry about how they're going to pay their bills, and being able to go after their passions. One thing that the multi-million-dollar identity that I want to step into is the CEO and person that can pay off my mom's house and set her up so she doesn't have to worry about money, because she has been she takes care of my kids while I'm working, and she is such a huge part of my life and my kids' lives that she deserves to be set up and taken care of, and the people that have supported me through the highs and lows are the people that deserve to be taken care of, and the people that genuinely appreciate and care about me and support me, and everybody needs a break. All these people in my life, they need a break. And so me stepping into a multimillionaire mindset and identity has nothing to do with me wanting a stereotypical luxury lifestyle. I mean, yeah, those things are nice, but I would rather. I mean, it's like it's the Ariana Grande song. I spoil, like, she wants to spoil her friends with all her riches. I'd rather spoil all my friends with my riches. I'd rather be able to be able to give them options and have them be limitless, than, um, than see them suffer. So the example that I was talking to with my husband just a couple minutes ago was this identity of the person that I want to step in to be. I was talking about my mom, actually, because my mom actually came from like a really wealthy farming family. And I mean, she never knew it. They never talked about it. They didn't put emphasis on the fact that they had money. And she was like, it was only she said that she only found out that they were pretty well off when she was in her 20s. And it's because her parents never put an emphasis on money. And since then, and she never really had an issue with money. She's good with money, but she is in an identity that when she gets money, she's afraid of losing money. So money doesn't stick around very long. For example, when she got a great big sum from when my grandpa sold off parts of land, and he like divided it up again among his children. My mom got a huge sum of money, and it didn't stay in her account very long because things happened. They needed a new fridge, they needed a new roof, they needed it and those are all things a part of life, but everything, it was a reflection of how she viewed that money. Is that she got that money, she was afraid to have that money, and therefore that money had to be spent, and it was spent on different, my dad went on stress leave, and so she ended up paying for the mortgage, so and so all of those things happened, so she doesn't have that big amount of money anymore because she was afraid of having it, therefore money didn't want to stick around. And I'm always and so with my husband, him and I were talking about how I don't like that energy, because I feel like money is an energy. Everything in this life is energy. It is atoms, electrons, matter, all being held together with energy, and energy ebbs and flows, and like, this is why Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about collapsing waves into particles, literally collapsing energy into materialistic things. How he talks about turning something, making something from nothing, because matter is 99.9% nothing. So it's I feel like my relationship with money is it's ebbs and flows back and forth. So I have to love money in order to welcome money, in order for that energy to be pulled into my energy field, and I have to love earning money in order to love spending money. So it's just, I have a very I'm still developing my relationship with money, and all I know right now is that I want to step into the identity where money flows easily to me, and I'm stepping into a multi-million-dollar mindset, where I don't have to worry and I don't have to have stresses. And obviously there's going to be stresses in any part of life. Life is all about up leveling and learning and educating and changing who you are and constantly getting to the next level. When it comes to financial stresses, those are things that really bring lots of people down, and I have chosen to step into an identity where I don't have to worry about those financial stresses. And I'm seeing more and more evidence of this, because I've been on stress leave and maternity leave, and times when we were so worried about money, to the point where I had to rely on my husband in order to pay some bills, which is fine. We have that partnership and that dynamic. But what was a huge realization to me was, as soon as COVID hit, I felt my husband and I are grateful every single day that he didn't have to stop working. He still had work. And I mean, we thank Source, Universe, God, however you identify, we think that every single day, um, that he was able to continue work and bring in an income. And then I had just been opened, like, introduced to the world of online coaching, and I was able to keep bringing in income throughout COVID. The COVID like shutdown in our area, we never worried about money. And we never had to take a deferral. We didn't have to take any government funding. We didn't have to do any of that because we let go of the how, and we just trusted that universe had our back, and we saw evidence of us bringing in income during that time. And this is like, money's like a super sore spot to talk about because it is, I mean, like, they say like money, like, money doesn't buy you happiness, but it sure shit makes things comfortable. You know what I mean? Like, and money is the number one stressor, the number one thing that couples fight about, the number one, like, and in couples, probably the number one thing that causes divorce or separations, because money is such a wanted and sought after thing. And if you're afraid of it, if you set yourself up for, if you step into the identity that you're afraid of money, because you can choose your identity, you can choose how you view yourself, you can choose how you think about yourself. And if you step into the identity that you're afraid of money, you'll never have it. And so, because, like, I mean, if you look at any well-off person that actually is able to keep their money and actually, like, sustainably have an income and be that millionaire person or a millionaire person that they know that they are, money goes easily to them. Like, they trust that it's gonna, like, that energy is gonna keep flowing to them. They're never worried about where they're going to get money from. They just know that money is coming to them. Whereas me personally, when I worried about money and I worried about paying bills and I worried about, mortgage payments, I got down, like, I was like in my overdraft. My bank account was like minus $120 at one point, and it's never been that low. And it's because I was worried about how to pay all these friggin' bills of mine. And because I was, and I can blame it on the fact that I invested in a course where I got nothing out of it. But I wasn't stepping into a mindset and into an identity where I trusted that money was flowing to me and that universe had my back. And I'm still learning this. I'm still, because I am not gonna say that worry, once you have money, your worries disappear. That's not the case. That's not the way of the world. That's not the way of our egos. Our egos are in place to keep us safe and to keep us in a place where we are comfortable. So when we start to enact change, it freaks out and it starts to show you evidence of why change is not a good idea. And I've definitely experienced this over the last few days, but I am choosing to step into a different identity and to practice, because that's what it takes. Like, it's not going to be like, okay, I choose to step into the multimillionaire mindset and identity, and suddenly I have multi-millions of dollars. Like, that's not how it works. I have to practice this. It's a muscle. And my business coach explains it as, like, when you're super sore after doing a workout that you haven't done in a long time, like, you have to keep practicing in order for that muscle, and working out that muscle in order for that muscle to get conditioned to doing those exercises over and over and over again. And it's the same with our brains. It's the same with our thought patterns. It's, you have to practice a thought, a belief, that identity, and choosing those thoughts every single day in order for it to become second nature, and in order for you and you to start believing it and habitually stepping into that mindset. And you have to, and in tandem with that, I strongly believe, because okay, so I had this coach. I'm gonna like I had this coach like a long time ago. This is when I started like was freaking out about money, but that she was constantly saying that if I was still doubting myself, then I couldn't, like it like in a way she was right, but like she was definitely wrong, because she said if I was still doubting myself and I was still worried about like if I was still worried about money, I needed to stop, and it was like stop taking action completely and just work on my mindset. And because my mindset is the most important. Okay, yes, I truly 100% believe that mindset is like the foundation of everything that you can do in life and business, because if you're taking steps in a negative mindset, you will always get a negative result. That is my belief, and that is what I have experienced personally. Um, However, here's my thought, is that when it comes to and Aaron Doughty talks about this a lot, and I started going through his videos because I was listening to the Lo and Zoe show, which you can find on Spotify, and Lauren Saunders is actually my business coach, and I'm like super happy that I met her and she's introduced me into this world. So Aaron Doughty actually talks about stripping away exterior identity and stripping away ego's defenses, basically, in order to step into a new identity. And it takes action as well as mindset. Like it's you're not gonna sit in your living room and think, okay, I'm gonna step into the identity of somebody who has a pink elephant in their living room, and open your eyes and suddenly there's a pink elephant in your living room. That's not gonna happen. You have to strip away and choose every single day to step into that identity, and then take action from that place of that new identity, and inspired action from that identity in order to get to where you need to go. And it could take multiple steps and lots of and it could change, right? Like your identity could change throughout all of that, because you had to step into a certain identity in order to have an inspired download that you want to be step into this identity, and this identity is going to give you what you truly want. I hope I'm explaining myself properly, because I get really jumbled with words, but um like I'm going to give another example in my own life. When I went on my first stress leave, I was so stressed out at my corporate job. I couldn't even function. My family dynamic was shit. My husband and I were fighting. He left at one point because we were fighting so badly. We had no relationship. The energy in my house was so toxic because of how stressed out I was at work, and how unaccomplished, and I felt unaccomplished. I felt like I wasn't achieving anything, and I felt like I was putting so much time and effort and getting no results whatsoever. And then from higher up, getting berated because I was not achieving results. It wasn't healthy for me anymore. And it was literally like, and when I said this before in one of my other videos, when universe wants you to do something, it's going to scream at you until you take the hint and you take action, especially if you're in tune with like listening to those cues and picking up on those cues. So my work environment had gotten so toxic. This was universe screaming at me, this is not something that you can do anymore. You should not be doing this. You were meant for something else. You know what you're meant for, but your ego is too scared to take the leap. And so I went on my second stress leave. I decided to hire a business coach in Lauren. And when I first started working with Lauren, the identity that I chose is that I wanted to step into this person who was a multi-million-dollar, that's never changed, but like a multi-millionaire lash artist who flew to Los Angeles and did and lashed celebrity clientele because I knew that I was worth it. I knew that I was, that I give celebrity quality work, and I would be there. Like my identity was I was there for 3 days, and they were willing to pay me anything that I wanted because I give such good work, and I would fly back and forth and have those fill up days, fly back and forth like every 3-4 weeks to lash celebrity clients. That was my identity. But what I'm realizing now is that identity, while totally plausible, all that identity was trying to teach me was that my work was bomb, that I knew what I was doing, and I had the expertise and the skill, and I needed to be confident in that. That's what that identity was teaching me. Because now at this point, while it would be so awesome to lash celebrities for $500 an hour, I wanted, because of that confidence that I found, that I still have to step into that confident boss babe CEO mindset every single day and choose inspired action from there. That identity caused me to have a divine download through Lauren Saunders to step into an identity of an educator and building an online empire, rather than rather than flying back and forth and doing celebrity lashes. So it's just like, I feel like as you are choosing to step into a different identity, you're gonna go through multiple identities. I swear to God, sometimes this thing feels like I have multiple personalities, because this whole journey, I mean, I've got Olga, my ego that I have so fondly named, that talks to me all the time telling me that change is bad, and that doing a different routine is bad, and that I'll be uncomfortable, and it's too hard work, and blah, 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 blah. So I have to choose to counteract her all the time. And then I have the identity, and then I have a imposter syndrome, and that's an identity that I have to work against all the time, because I'm still building up. I'm still working that identity muscle. I'm still working that brain muscle, in order to choose this new identity and take action from this new identity. And there are physical things that I choose to do every single day, like YouTube videos. My YouTube I'm not, like I said yesterday, I am not a hugely popular person. I don't have 1 million followers. I don't have 150,000 subscribers. But I'm stepping into the identity of a multimillionaire who has not no fear, but who, despite the fear, puts themselves out there, and despite ego backlash and imposter syndrome, has the courage to put herself out there in a way that is aligned with a multimillionaire mindset. So these are my inspired actions that I do in order to come from that identity, to step into that identity. And another thing that I haven't mastered yet, because, well, no, there's no excuse. I just haven't mastered it yet. I just keep choosing to. So one of the things that has constantly hit me over the head multiple times over the years is that in order for me to step into this multimillionaire mindset of mine, is starting your day off right. And how I feel that I want to start my day off right, and how I keep getting like slapped in the face with Instagram videos on how to do this, and I still haven't done it, is getting up early and working out, starting your day with a workout, because I love working out. I don't love working out late in the day. So that is, I know that about I've chosen that about myself because I don't like working out in the day. I like relaxing. I like having a full day and then not having to worry about one more thing. I want to start my day off properly and off right. And so for me, my multi-million dollar identity that I want to step into, that person gets up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning and does a workout and starts her day off right with meditation and doesn't hit the snooze button. I that is my inspired download about my multi-million dollar identity, and it is something I choose, that I need to keep choosing every single day, because I'll go through like 2 days where, and I have to stop putting a narrative on it, like I'm not a morning person, or I stay up too late, or I need 8 hours of sleep. Like, those are all narratives that I tell myself, and so because I'm talking about that and I'm saying those narratives, that's what's being reflected back to me in the morning when I hit snooze and don't want to get up. Or my story is, all my kids will get up with me, and so that's literally what's happening. I'll get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then my kids are up with me, and then I can't enjoy a workout. So these are all narratives and things that are being reflecting back at me because of what I am telling myself and the beliefs that I am telling myself. So I'm still, you guys, I'm still working on it. Life, I'm never going to be perfect at life in general. No one is. The whole point of life is to keep working towards being your best self and working towards true happiness. And if you can be, that is my interpretation of what life is. And it's a journey. It will constantly be a journey, and it's an ever winding road. There are twists and turns in every situation of life, regardless of whether or not you have $1 million or $100. It's whether or not you're in a relationship or you're single. There are going to be twists and turns that you need to navigate and choose how you approach each obstacle that universe throws your way. You just have to trust that universe is doing things in your favor, and you need to come from an identity of a person that can, of the identity of your ultimate goal, of your ultimate happiness. And I feel like I'm just babbling at this point, but that is my take on identity. And Lauren Saunders and Zoe Ariel and Aaron Doughty talk a lot about this. That's definitely something that they've been focusing on. And I know that Dr. Joe Dispenza, he talks a ton about stripping away the outer identity and choosing inspired action coming from that new identity of where you want to become. So those are all great resources on stripping away the identity. It's something that I really felt called to talk about today. If not for you, even just for me, to gain a deeper understanding of what that means, and having more divine downloads and having realizations about myself and who I am and who I am projecting, and who I'm showing up in the world as right now. So it's still a journey. It's still a work in progress, but yeah, I'm choosing a new identity for myself and working towards that. So I love all of you guys. I love talking and being on here. This is just like, it's such an outlet for me, and it's truly my, these videos, I know that it's Bougie Beauty TV, but these videos are my version of encompassing bougie and beauty, because that's how I feel, and I feel bougie and beautiful when I am truly myself and stepping into an identity that I am completely aligned with, and doing things for myself and in my life and in my business, personal, whatever I'm choosing to do, that make me feel like the queen goddess that I have decided that I am. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I don't really know how to sign off on YouTube videos yet. I've only posted 4 videos at this point. So I have no idea how to sign off. I'll probably come up with something more creative, like down the line. But yeah, basically, stay bougie, stay beautiful, stay true to yourself, and push towards your goals. And yeah, love you lots.